I would urge any member of the public who comes across, suspects or believes that there is a gathering in a private residence or in public to ring the police assistance line on 131 444. We will attend, we will follow up. You'll see over the next weekend, especially where we've got, so the Weather Bureau says we're going to have a lot of heat around at that time, 27, 28. People may be thinking they're going to be getting out and about. We will be out and we will be enforcing. We'll be inspecting in populous places. We'll be driving around. The Operation Sentinel patrols, from which we've had running from the start, will have an increased focus. They'll be attending to the calls from PAL, but also they'll be seeing if there's a lot of cars in a street in a particular area outside a residence. We'll be knocking on those doors. We'll be doing everything we can to make sure that people are adhering to these guidelines. Significantly for us, we know that people are getting fatigued. There is a real risk of the spread of the virus from these increased gatherings, and we saw that over the weekend. Over Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, in Casey, Melbourne, Hoppers Crossing, we saw at least 10 separate parties, and these were held at short-term rental properties. Those parties resulted in us issuing 93 infringements. At one of those in Hoppers Crossing, there were around 40 people there when we turned up. 40 people in one party. Several of them did a runner, some just dispersed. We ended up giving out 15 infringements. If we gave out those 15 infringements under this new guideline, that would be a $75,000 party. That's a heck of a party. But we're not going to step away from it because these are the CHO guidelines and it's absolutely imperative that we enforce them to stop the spread. So I would just urge all Victorians to stay the distance, to keep going along and doing what they've been doing, adhering, because the vast majority do the right thing. But for those who are having these parties, like we've seen over the weekend, you can expect a very strong police presence, a very quick response from the police, and we will be enforcing and we will be issuing infringements. It's as simple as that. Adhere to the guidelines. I can't say anything else. It's so straightforward.
The parties are such a blatant breach. How frustrating is it for you to see them happening?
The party, it is, as the question is a totally blatant breach. We've often said we would use discretion where it's able to be used, but when people arrange a short-term rental property and then have, in these circumstances, most of these parties had 10 or 11 people in them, some had 5, but one that had 40 there, and to turn up and see people jumping over fences and the ignorance and the selfishness by them placing others at risk in the spread, it's unfathomable.
Are people pleading ignorance or what's their excuse?
Their excuses are they just wanted to get together. It's as simple as that. I don't think anyone in Victoria could claim any ignorance that they shouldn't be gathering together. It has been stated by everybody from the Premier right through the Chief Health Officer, police continually outlining that. We're continually stating how many infringements we issue, how many warnings we give, and the frustration that we encounter. And we've all heard those highlighted matters about people hiding in places when we go there at parties. We saw that on this weekend as well. Some people were hiding. It defies logic. It defies common sense. It's incredibly frustrating. And for these reasons, that's why I say the use of discretion in a circumstance such as this is only going to be at an absolute extremity, and I can't begin to imagine what that would be.
Just on the examples you've given us from the weekend, where they're in a short-term rental, are you finding that allegedly these people are getting the rental to try and, have a party at a place that they don't necessarily have their address tied to? It's part of their tactic or something like that.
Some people it is so that they can have a party. Some are staying there for reasons because you can't leave home and move into a short-term rental property unless you have one of the reasons for leaving home under the CHO directions, under the CHO exemptions. And we have worked with these companies and they have extended it so you're required, as I understand, to lease for four nights, and that has seen a dramatic drop over recent times. But this weekend, for some reason, maybe maybe people are just, the fatigue starting to get to them. But this weekend was an especially bad one where we've seen a whole host of different parties pop up, and our response was swift. Our response was, as you would expect, our response was and will be, you will get infringements issued to you. And at $5,000 a throw, you really need to seriously consider whether it's worth going to a party for $5,000.